You're back. Did you bring my goods? Name's Orla. I'm a merchant. Or I try to be, when my business isn't being held hostage by a bunch of idiots who seem to be terrified of women. What was I thinking when I decided to leave Timberwall? Should have stayed there. You've never been to the merchant capital? Well, you didn't miss much. Yes, it's rich and extravagant, but only if you're rich and extravagant too. Other than that, it's a place like any other. The same pain and misery hiding behind gilded walls. It's not as exciting as people think. Or, well, maybe it is if you like living with a bunch of backstabbing crooks. Yeah, now I remember what I was thinking when I left that place. I have no home in Timberwall. Well, we have an estate, but it hasn't felt like home for a long time. I feel like every time I go back, I recognize it less and less. The people are getting greedier and more desperate by the day. Business is slow, I'm not gonna lie. With the weirdness creeping in from the north and bandits everywhere, trade's just not as profitable as it used to be. But, I don't know. Being a merchant from Timberwall used to mean craftiness, taking risks, looking for opportunities. Now, they only care about keeping their heads down and preserving their fortunes. Not really. It's more of a requirement if you ever want to be successful in Timberwall. My family is full of them. Oh, love, plenty. And almost none of them happy. I'll never forget the first time we stumbled upon a place after a cloud of the weirdness oozed through. It was a small settlement, just a few houses. There was this odd, bitter taste in the air. The place was completely abandoned. Or so we thought, until we started finding them, one by one. A man who tried to chop off his legs after they started sprouting antlers. Another one who gouged his eyes out so he wouldn't have to look at his child melting into the floor. A woman in the farthest corner of the settlement managed to stab herself in the heart before it got to her. I almost dropped it all and ran back to Timberwall that day. I'm still not sure why I didn't. I guess giving up just isn't in my nature. Sweet all-mother, is he still whining about that contract? I want it fair and square. My offer was simply better, and Heffen's crap at negotiating. Besides, if you ask me, it's all just posturing. He might have lost the contract for his family, but for him, it was a clear win. Trading with the Keep in an official capacity. It means I don't just run this stand, I also handle orders from the captain and the quartermaster. It's a good deal, I won't lie, but it requires a lot of running around. I don't have time to twiddle my thumbs and make nice with the locals like Heffen does. Look, Heffen may seem dim, but he's a sly bastard. I'm not saying he lost on purpose, because I doubt that. But he didn't have to slink back to Connacht with his tail between his legs. He's got his little stall in the village, and he lords over it like a bloody king. Grouch that he is, he fits right in with the rest of those old codgers. Plus, he got his family off his back. All in all, I'd say he's doing quite well for himself.
Let me guess. Camelot, no? Timberwall, also no? So you're not from the north? Ah, of course.
You must be from Connacht. I should have guessed right away. So, who's in charge there now?
Oh, I was just wondering what's going on out there. Here in the south, we have our own affairs. What happens out there in the world? Well, the news doesn't always travel all the way here.
And they should. It's in our common interest.
You know, people are talking about rising unrest in the north, and a secret coalition preparing a coup at the highest levels of power. And that whole plague thing is just a tool to reach their final goal. The Red Priests are also trying to get something out of it.
And to be honest, it's not gone too bad for them. The Druids are out of the picture already.
Well, sure. They want to establish a new order on our island. And it's not clear who's involved in the whole mess.
Maybe. Maybe our captain is even involved. Hell knows. They have their people everywhere. Damn it, you could be one of them too. Although when I look at you, I don't think so. You have such a stupid face. With all due respect, of course.
That's the case. Those sons of bitches are good at hiding. They kinda blend in and live among us. It's hard to tell if it's hideous magic or some other tricks.
Wait a minute. I'm not suggesting anything here. I'm just thinking out loud.
It doesn't make sense that the plague appeared just like that. Out of bloody nowhere? Hell no. It's a high-stakes game.
Power over us, of course. Over our bodies and souls. Over Avalon. Over the whole damn course of history.
You see? It takes one to know one. And that means we're just pawns. Folks like us won't change anything. But we have to talk out loud. It suits them when everyone keeps their mouth shut.
You know, I've been thinking lately. What if King Arthur is just a stupid fairy tale? What if the nobles and others involved in the whole conspiracy just made him up? And us peasants eventually just started to believe in it.
You know, one story for everyone. They drilled it into our heads, and drilled until it finally stuck. And then they built statues, wrote books, and everything else. You finally get it. It's just a pity that there are so few like us. Well, we just have to keep going, eh? And while we're at it, I have to get back to work. I'm on duty.
This feeling, it was so strong, so real. I remember now, the weight of it, the power. This blade was never just steel. It was a part of me. Yes, the sensation is unmistakable, but it carries more than my soul. It carries a part of my legacy. A sword like that, it doesn't yield easily. It demands strength of body and of will. You'll need to grow stronger before it will choose you. This, yeah, but you'll. It's more than a sword. It's a promise. A blade that stands for unity, for strength, and for hope. It wasn't just mine. It belonged to Avalon. Every swing, every battle was fought for the land and its people. But Excalibur is also a burden. It demands more than just skill. It demands purpose. Without that, then it is just steel.
Welcome to the Museum of the Horns of the South, the southernmost keep under Camelot's jurisdiction. My name is Ridderick, and I will be happy to introduce you to the rich history of this fascinating place. A history that began 623 years ago with the first keeper, Sewell Firstfoot. I'd also like to bring your attention to our numerous exhibits that are, as I like to say, inanimate witnesses of the history of the Horns of the South. It began in the year 542. It is the crowning achievement of a group of keepers who were fascinated with Sewell Firstfoot. It took them years of tremendous effort to finally open an institution devoted to research and education, worthy of commemorating Sewell's great legacy. The first keeper of the museum was Gladwin Flanagan, who was personally appointed by Captain Berach the Black. I don't doubt it, since Sewell Firstfoot was a remarkable figure, well known to every keeper. Drawing on available sources, we can claim with almost absolute certainty that Sewell Firstfoot was the first man who ever set foot on the island of Avalon. As you can probably guess, that's where his moniker, Firstfoot, comes from. Oh, of course! Sewell was an outstanding commander whose strategic mind, bravery, and charisma contributed to our capture of the South from the Four Dwellers. He was also the founder of the Horns of the South, so I can say with absolute conviction that if it were not for Sewell Firstfoot, we wouldn't even be standing here having this conversation. The museum holds a collection of 72 items of the so-called movable, tangible heritage. The collection includes big and small items that represent the world surrounding the keepers of the Horns of the South from the 1st to the 6th century of the Avalonian era. Here you will find militaria, craft tools, everyday objects, furniture, textiles, coins, religious artifacts. I'd say all exhibits are worthy of your attention, but I could point you to the ones I personally think to be the most notable, or subjectively, of course, the most interesting. Those would be the items that used to belong to Sewell Firstfoot. We have his signal horn, and also his boots. Those boots were the first to touch Avalonian soil. What is also worth mentioning is the tableware used by King Arthur himself during his visit to the Horns of the South in the 15th year of the Avalonian era. I have to admit that local fauna is not one of my main areas of interest, but I do know the answer to this question, as it is rooted in the history of the Horns of the South. It used to be the case that a significant part of the daily catch was gobbled up by our troublesome coastal neighbors. So the keepers of that time found a very peculiar way to deal with the problem. Some of them, called the seagullers, scared off the coastal birds using specially constructed masks. They made them from feathers and pieces of tanned pigskin sewn together. The reason the gulls avoided these masks is unclear, but perhaps their peculiar shape reminded them of a natural predator?
Just stay put. Everything will be just fine. There you are, finally. Do you have what I need? A mask? Eh? Are you sure? Ah, whatever, sod it. Now they'll get what's coming to them, damn rascals. You can go now. You're right. Here, take this. But don't think, even for a moment, that the struggle is over. We need more, much more, to finally rid ourselves of those blasted birds once and for all. Are you ready for the next step in our fight against the flying, shitting enemy? That's the spirit! In a war like this, every ally counts. Look, I've got the perfect seagull trap design right here. You just need to make a few and set them up in some strategic spots, like this one. And those flying pests will surely get caught. We need to work smart. Never! As long as I live and can do something, I'll keep fighting. And I appreciate that. But this war still needs soldiers. And you can be my first officer. Go on then, and fight against the flying vermin.
Oh, sorry. Do I know you? I'm terrible with faces. Either way, glad to make your acquaintance. I'm Jan Heber, a physician raised in Camelot and trained in the Royal Academy. What do you think? Do I look like a mystic to you? A shaman? A village witch? I don't think so. Otherwise, I'd have a lot more to worry about. If you're looking for answers about things like this, you should consult the literature on the subject. Though I can't say I'd recommend it. Is some local witchcraft I've been trying to make sense of. I guess I'll find out when I try it. Experience is the best teacher. Don't worry, I'm not testing anything on the others. Graham the Mad, a great Camelotian physician, used to say that a real doctor would never give his patients something he hadn't tried on himself first. A wise approach, which I follow myself. What irony? The pursuit of knowledge is always dangerous. That's why it's reserved for only the bravest of the brave. It takes true guts to face the unknown, to realize just how little you know, and how insignificant you are to the world. I was classically trained in the proper art of medicine by the scholars of Camelot. The things they do here, they make no sense. No sense at all. Most of this stuff shouldn't even be effective, yet it seems to work wonders on these simple-minded, tough-bodied people here in the south. Shipments from Camelot are late, so I'm running low on supplies. If I'm not able to treat them, they'll start complaining. And Fergus doesn't like when people complain, especially when it comes to their health. He truly cares about them, I've got to admit. He doesn't care much about anyone else, though. I don't dream about anything anymore, so sleep feels like a waste of precious time. Fortunately, back in Camelot, I found a mix of remedies that can keep me awake for a whole week. It was quite popular in our study group. Oh no, every physician needs his secrets. But I can sell you some if you promise not to tell any of the higher-ups. There are side effects. You won't fall asleep for a while, but the moment you do, well, you'll feel like you died and came back to life, only to die again. So you either take the next dose, or endure it. I can endure it because I don't have a post to attend to. But our brave soldiers, well, that'd be risky. Well, they already trust my word, and I'll be sure to deny everything. Moreover, I'm in the position to raise my prices, or to refuse to sell you medicine, whichever suits my mood. I'm honestly quite offended you're even asking. Healing diseases, sometimes cutting people open. Oh, and pulling out teeth seems to be a leading cause of concern for everyone around here. Me pulling teeth in the arse end of the world? My friends back in Camelot would laugh their brains out. Lanzo knows very well what he must do. I'm sorry, but there's nothing else I can do for him. Either he removes the tooth, or it will keep hurting. Yes, his grandma's miracle medicine. I honestly don't have time for village superstitions. I had to confiscate the recipe as well, lest he tries making it himself. As if I don't have enough problems already. Times in the keep are tough. Everyone is either bored or restless. Honestly, the last thing I need is people poisoning themselves with some unknown potion they don't even have the qualifications to make. No, I thought I made myself clear. If you want an excuse to drink yourself to oblivion on moonshine, just drink the moonshine. No need to add other potentially dangerous ingredients. Yes, and I'm pretty sure that's the only reason people think those things actually work. It's obvious. If you drink enough alcohol, you eventually stop feeling pain, along with your entire face. Well, to be fair, the base recipe is pretty harmless. But what if someone decides that if they don't have carnation, it's perfectly fine to substitute it with devil's snare, since the color is more or less the same? Or sage with wolfsbane, because, you know, leaves are leaves. I'm sorry, but unfortunately I know these people well enough not to trust them with something like this. What? How do you... You know what? Fine. Do whatever you want. But if it causes you to shit yourself for 3 days straight, don't come running to me. Why would you, though? Don't you have better things to do? Aha, got it. So you're up for work not out of the goodness of your heart, but for your own selfish plans. Oh, now you're speaking the language of Timberwall. It does pay, but we haven't settled on a shared definition of well, have we? I guess we can see about it after the job's done. But all right, if you're a mercenary, then I do have a job for someone who'd be willing to risk their life in exchange for material goods. Back at the Academy, I found an ancient scroll written by the Druids. Forbidden knowledge, especially now, after the mob forced them all into a wicker man and burned every last one of them to ash. I finally deciphered it a little while ago. It describes a ritual that needs to be performed at night within a stone circle. And guess what? There's one in the nearby forest. I guess you already know what I need you to do, hmm? And here I am, thinking that everyone's already heard about the Charred Conclave. Well, it wasn't the proudest moment in our history, that's for sure. You truly don't know. At some point, the villagers all around the island decided that the Druids were responsible for the Red Death, and all other ailments of our times. They rounded them all up in a massive wicker man north of the Forlorn Swords, and burned them all to ashes. Hundreds of years of knowledge gone within the blink of an eye. But, well, that's what's bound to happen when you stop paying for people's education and invest in keeping the elites fed instead. That is an excellent question, but I don't know. From what I've been able to decipher, it's a summoning spell to bring something or someone to our world. That being will share its great knowledge with the one brave enough to summon it. I need you to remember what it says and repeat it to me after you're back, word for word. Isn't it obvious? I'm the only medic they have here at the Horns. I'd like to see Fergus's face if he hears about me going out there. In Camelot, maybe, but this far south? Nobody cares. I've spent my entire life digging through scrolls and books in pursuit of their knowledge. I've been reading about their rites and the descriptions of their rituals. Look, I'm sure they were onto something. They knew much more than we do, but it feels like there's a veil wrapped tightly around that knowledge. It's like I need to find the right spell, the right ritual, something that will unwrap it for me.
Ah, you're back! How's the remedy? Thank you! Ah, I'll finally be able to eat something. Here, take this as my thanks for your help.
to see you. Safe travels.
the leash, are we? They must have had their fun with you. Who had you as their plaything? The church? The druids? Some band of cutthroats? But it doesn't matter now, that you're free. I'm Avigor, a knight. I swore my sword to my lady's will, and she kept me close, until she had no more use for me. Now, I walk alone, but a shadow never strays too far. You look wretched, and you smell like death. I've seen people like you before. Broken, worn down, dragged through the mud. If you've had enough of it all, I could grant you an honorable death. In a proper duel, you lived like a cur, but you could die like a knight. Wouldn't that be just splendid? Just say the word. Farewell, wanderer.
You'll regret this! You're finished! That's all you've got. I will bleed you. I will bleed you. Say your prayers. Say your prayers. You'll be fertilizing the soil. You up. Be prepared for anything. Be prepared for anything. I'll leave you in.
I suppose it has. A pity it has become a hunting ground for bandits. But do not worry, my friend. Let us walk this path and make me whole again. I will restore this island to the glory it deserves, the King's Road included.
Company. You're no match for our band. Your money or your life.
Oh, a new face. I haven't seen you before. And I'm in the woods. Is that how you want to talk? It depends on who's asking and why. No, I'm kidding. I don't meet many outsiders these days. I'm Marg, a hunter in the service of the Horns of the South. I don't know what it is about this place, but even the dead hardly ever get any rest. Though I'll admit, it's getting worse lately. They keep emerging from the local cemetery in numbers greater than that small plot of land ever held. So I'm guessing we might have a necromancer on our hands. And here I thought after the Charred Conclave, we'd have more than 100 years of peace from them. Only every century or so. But even that's too often if you ask me. Something seems to draw them here. Well, it's probably all that death. The South has always been restless, and after what happened with the sunken village, I guess death has seeped into the very soil of this land. Must be quite alluring for that lot. I'm a simple hunter, while they have the power to raise the dead. Arrows are only good against magic if you're far away from the caster, which is impossible in the crypt. But if you decide not to help, I'll have no choice, will I? Or I could just wait for the necromancer to be destroyed by what they summoned. It happens sometimes, from what I've heard. Good. And try not to die. That undead swarm doesn't need any more recruits. Everything is interesting around here. But ultimately, it depends on what you're looking for. No. Because I'm not an interesting person. You need to understand that when someone enlists with the Horns of the South, he leaves his former self outside the walls of the keep. His old life, it loses all meaning. If someone comes here and gets political, well, they'll end up disappointed. Well, I don't know if you're aware, but becoming the captain is a curse for any true keeper. It's not the honor others on Avalon seem to think it is. Because the captain answers to Camelot and its representative, Galahad. So every captain needs to get political, whether he likes it or not. And the current Galahad is a real piece of shit. He burns people under any pretext whatsoever, or none at all. He sows terror. I have no respect for the man. I'm self-sufficient enough not to have to ask for help. However, I suppose I could help you. I could share some things I found out during my hunts.
no match for our band.
who's come to visit me here? Surely you're not here to steal my treasures, are you? Oh, they call me all sorts of things. Evil spirit, lurking fiend, imp fae, nasty little thieving pest. But really, my name is Mog. It happens. I suspect it's because I really like to snatch people's little trinkets. But between you and me, if they paid more attention, it wouldn't be so easy to steal their things. We're definitely not Fae, that's something else entirely. I'm what people wanted to believe in. The one who snatched their last coin for a beer, swearing they had it just a moment ago. The reason they can't find their left sock in the morning. The cause of a missing wedding ring, oh, so on. Oh, you offend me in my own home. So not nice. Sure, it's junk to you now, but when you have to head out into the cold and can't find one glove, well, suddenly it becomes very important. And that glove? I've had it for ages. I'm just helping people appreciate the little things, because those are the only things that truly matter in life, right? At least that's what some bores say. Nah, it's just hilarious, watching you all lose your minds over a missing key or a sock. And I've been doing this for centuries. It's second nature by now. Oh, you shouldn't ask a lady such things. But you can ask me. I don't remember exactly. 9, 10 centuries at least, maybe more, 15, 23, I don't know. Of course. I mean, the funniest part is, you live in a place where you shouldn't even be, staring death in the face every day. And yet, you get the angriest over the smallest things. The Red Plague? Oh, you'll manage somehow, but where the hell is my favorite pipe? What is it with you people and gold? I've been around for ages, I still don't get it. I don't give a damn about gold and jewels. When you talk about them, you suddenly get all serious and pompous. I'm just here for fun. Strange. I thought people liked being buried with their little trinkets and shiny bits. And since I'll be dying soon, a crypt seems perfect. That's right. I used to play tricks on people back in the homelands. Back then, they respected me. But ever since we came to Avalon, it's just been getting worse. They're forgetting. Sometimes someone still tosses salt over their left shoulder for me, or maybe leaves a little bowl of milk with honey outside, but those folks are rare now. And when they all forget me, that's the end. Yes. Is that so strange? You can convince yourselves that you have bad luck, illness, love. Why not an old crone who steals your pants? No, it's just the natural order of things. I've lived long enough anyway. But since I'm kicking the bucket soon, I could pass on some of my power to you. What you say? Because first you'll have to do something for me, and it'll be hilariously fun. Well, before I give you some of my power, I just want something from you. Something stolen. Nothing big or expensive, just a little trinket. Just sneak into someone's house and swipe the shoes, or grab a wooden mug from the tavern. Will you do that for me? Great! Now you can either keep your word and commit the terrible sin of theft, or break your promise. And if you ever feel like a bit of thievery, I'll be waiting right here. Well, have you got... Then hurry up.
Who goes there? Are you the one responsible for all that racket? People are trying to rest in peace, damn it! Oh, you'll have to forgive them. They're a little disoriented. Waking up in this way is like coming out of a thick fog you've been wandering through for days on end. Dulls the senses, clouds the mind. Terrible for coordination. My name's Huardok, and I am the keeper of this place. I look after the dead, or at least, I try to. It used to be much easier where they stayed in one place. Now I need to keep making sure they don't stray too far from the cemetery. But I'm not complaining. A little exercise is good for the body. Truth be told, I'm not quite sure. Has it been a long time since the wave came and swallowed the village? That was when people stopped coming here. It's like the sea washed away the memory of this place as well. I don't remember much of what happened afterwards. I must have fallen asleep for a while. Dead, alive, what's the difference? I am here. I always have been, and I always will be, until the day I'm released from my service. I know everything that happens here. If you're looking for some juicy gossip, Becca from the third row south still has no idea where her husband is. They were supposed to be buried together, you see, but he never showed up. The scoundrel. Everyone here thinks he got remarried and chose to rest with his second wife. Not me. I think he probably got eaten. Oh, that would be Master. He's been at his experiments again, I'm afraid. Getting the folks around here all agitated. Putting them back to sleep again is going to be such a chore. Master is Master. He commands the dead. I don't know much else. I'm here to serve, not to ask questions. Dunno. Usual. Glowing chalk, candles, and dead bodies. I even saw some new faces recently, but they didn't stay long. You want me to betray his trust that easily? We barely know each other. I wouldn't tell you even if I could. Because it's my purpose. The sole reason I was brought back. That has never changed. Just as I haven't. But I'm happy where I am. The dead need company too, you know. The folks here were forsaken by the living. At least I can make sure they're not lonely. Interested in local history, are you? Good, good. The memory of those who came before us should be preserved. I can let you in. There is a small fee of 5 gold coins, for the upkeep of the cemetery, of course. It's constant work, as you can clearly see, and my petitions for additional funds seem to have fallen on deaf ears. Bless you, kind stranger. Those old bones are not what they used to be. Here, just take the key. Be careful, though. There's evil dwelling in those crypts. Oh, and I hope I don't need to remind you not to rob any graves. It's terribly rude, and I'd rather not deal with the complaints.
Careful there. Try not to step in the array. It's advanced magic. Very fragile.
Stop. Well, what I am doing here is very important. Besides, I'm hardly hurting anyone. Well, anyone that matters, that is. That is a gross oversimplification. I am conducting valuable research, and yes, I do get rid of vermin and give their sorry existence some actual meaning. Posthumously, but, well, as they say, better late than never, right? Don't tell me you care about the lives of a few bandits. I'm not desecrating anything. It's just flesh. There's nothing sacred about it in the first place. It starts decaying the moment you die. I'm merely prolonging its usefulness. And I've made some tremendous breakthroughs. I know people fear this kind of magic, but it creates so many new possibilities. It could change the meaning of life and death.
Give those who died prematurely more time with their loved ones. We could learn to live without the fear of dying. We could treat death not like an end, but like a new beginning.
Don't enjoy it either. It's messy, and it takes up far too much time that could be better devoted to my research. Think about it this way. People who wrought so much misery on others could end up bettering the lives of everyone. I've made some tremendous breakthroughs. Oh, please. Is that the only thing people can think of when it comes to necromancy? What use would I have with an army? My ambition isn't to command the dead, but death itself. I aim to make Avalon a place where people won't have to fear it anymore. The problem is, I keep missing something. Raising the dead is easy, but I don't want mindless minions. I want truly living undead. Yet no matter what I do, it just won't work. And you don't understand what you're talking about. This discussion is pointless. That's absurd. Nobody on Avalon is more experienced than I am. Nobody.
Very well. Do you know what I like most about the dead? They don't tire, and they don't feel pain. But you will.
Yes, I felt that. He must have been surprised. People like him tend to forget that it can happen to them too. I guess I'll do what I always do. Clean up, put everyone back to sleep, and then take a little nap myself. Someone will come along again sooner or later. We can't have them seeing such a mess, can we? Well, this master wasn't the first one. I'm sure he won't be the last. This place is very popular with their kind for some reason, and they always leave it in such a state. It's not like it would hurt them to pick up a few bones and put them back in place. It seems so. But before you go, I have a small favor to ask. As you can see, there's quite a commotion around here. I'm afraid I won't be able to fulfill all my duties before I need to rest again. Could you take what remains of the Master and place him in a special crypt I've prepared? If you feel so inclined, a few kind words about him would be welcome. Here's the key. Well, goodbye, then. And thank you for stopping by. It was truly appreciated. Though we are dead, we still enjoy having a visitor from time to time. It's nice to be remembered, even if just for a little while.
Well, have you got a little stolen something for me yet? Yes, this is exactly what I was looking for. A human doing my work. I can't take it. You've been just a great source of fun. All right, time for my part of the deal, I guess. Close your eyes, put on a serious face, like something very mystical is happening. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And done. Now you've got a bit of my power. Go into the world, use it well. Oh, you must. Safe travels. Safe travel.
So he shares the same fate as his minions. Ironic, don't you think? Well, at least we'll have some peace and quiet around here again. And the dead might be restless for a bit. But I'm sure Hwaradak will put them back to sleep. You can report a job well done to the quartermaster. Aye, I do. He's a very pleasant fellow. I may not be very fond of his masters, but well, who am I to judge a man for the oaths he's bound to? And he has a lot of respect for the dead. I wouldn't mind having someone like him looking after me after I finally shuffle off this mortal coil. You fought and you won. That's all that matters to me. We're both busy individuals. And maybe one day, if Avalon permits, we'll share this tale by the campfire. But for now, let's focus on what's in front of us. Since you've proven you're brave enough to face the undead, I take it you're not afraid of the night either, are you? I might have another job for you if you're interested. A while ago, another traveler came through here bragging that he found a place where you could easily gather ethereal cobwebs. He was supposed to return with proof, but, well, I'm afraid he may have met an unfortunate end, as often happens. But I'm still curious about the place he mentioned. It's just a stranger who wanted to share the fire for a while. I never ask his name. I didn't see the point. There are those on Avalon who love the thrill of braving the night. They don't usually live very long. I think he mistook me for a kindred spirit. But the problem is, ethereal cobwebs can only be gathered at night. And I'm not exactly keen or needlessly putting myself at the mercy of the weirdness. I've got obligations to the keep and my brothers in arms. I can't let them starve or freeze just because I'm a little curious, can I? When you wander through the weirdness and observe the creatures it has altered, you'll notice a strange substance covering them. That's ethereal cobweb. No one knows where it comes from, although some scholars suspect it's the weirdness in its tangible form. I thought it could only be harvested from the bodies of those changed by the weirdness. But if that traveler was right, then there might be an easier way. Or to build a weirdness-repelling fire, of course. Look, if you're ever out at night with no safe place to shelter, ethereal cobwebs can save your life. There's like a temporary personal menhir. That's good. Hand me a map. I don't know the exact location, but you should find it in this area. Good luck.
Please, state your business. Really? You fought bandits and killed them? Oh, I want to hear all the details. Here's your reward, but promise you'll tell me everything. Again? You really like killing, don't you? Go chop off... Please, state... Oh, someone finally... Go chop off...
Oh, a new face. It's always nice to see someone new here. Welcome, welcome. Why didn't I notice you earlier? Yes, my apologies. Ever since breakfast today, I've been sort of lost in thought. I keep thinking of my dear mother's cooking, especially her famous pie. You see, all we got here is venison and fish. Venison, then fish. And then fish, fish, and more fish. I can live with all the bullshit that's thrown at us soldiers. But the longer I live, the more I realize there's not much to live for, except food. And I'd kill for a slice of that pie. As if it were that easy. I ain't much of a cook. And Rorik, the one we have here, well, he says we're soldiers, so we can stick our complaints up our asses. Really? Sure, I remember it well. Here you go.
You're the reason they put me here. You just wait until they let me out. I'll beat you so hard your own mother won't recognize you. Come a little closer, so I can at least spit in your face. Nobody asks your opinion. I drink 'cause I want to. I drink 'cause guarding that empty gate is the most boring shit in the world. What's it to you, anyway, huh? Maybe I was drunk, but the gate was guarded. It's not your damn pin, I wouldn't even let you in. But all is not lost. We can still be friends. Listen, just pour something delicious down my throat, huh? And I'll forget this insult. I'm not guarding the gate right this second, am I? There's nothing wrong with having a little sip, right? Come on, don't be like that. Just a drop. That's all I ask. I knew it, my friend. I knew we could get along. Oh, delicious. You're the best, you know.
Sometimes it's nice to just sit and think.
Doing okay?
I like it when things are quiet.
Are you here to keep me company or put me out? Just kidding. Oh, you don't. I just got. I mean. Oh, aye. I need a warm coat. Osprey might have something in stock or no. Thanks, friend.
The less attention, the better. Just keep your head down. I like it when things are quiet. I should stay out of trouble. And how did my traps work? Quite the technological marvels, aren't they? What? I'm giving you the opportunity to take part in the greatest campaign since King Arthur's time, and you're asking for money? Well, that's fair. You're not one of us, so I guess Rourke isn't feeding you for free. Here, half of my pay. Eat your fill, so you'll have strength for further battles. So, are you ready for another challenge? We need to solve the seagull problem on Avalon once and for all. You'll search for their nests and destroy them without mercy. Burn the nests, shoot the parents. It's the only way to eradicate the evil for good. Serious times call for serious measures. I see no... The nests will keep coming back. Only consistency will go.